It seems the Middle East has gone mad in the last few weeks. From Cairo to Kabul, embassies under attack. From Tehran to Jakarta, fires blazed. The rage started with peculiar timing, too. Months after the cartoons about Muhammad were published, and the international community finds it hard to believe that it's all spontaneous.
Iran and Syria have gone out of their way to inflame sentiments and to use this to their own purposes, and the world ought to call them on it.
Ahmadinejad stood in Tehran's Liberty Square in front of tens of thousands and just smiled. It's as if he was custom-made for the axis of evil definition. Dark, fanatic, and not especially bright. It's his fundamentalism that gave the world a wake-up call to the danger of Iranian nuclear power. And now Israel is not the only one hearing the Iranian bomb ticking away. But Ahmadinejad, who frightens Arab leaders too, has succeeded in roiling the Arab street, instilling a new, dark spirit.
הפרספקטיבה שנוחה לנו היא העולם התרבותי נגד הברברים, נגד הברברים האיראנים, ואין שום דרך אחרת לתאר את האיראן. זהו משטר ברברי. לכן ארצות הברית מתגייסת, לכן אפילו אירופאים רבים מבינים שצריך לעשות משהו.
The perspective convenient for us is that of a cultural war against the barbarians, against the Iranian barbarians, and really there's no other way to describe the Tehran regime.
We requested the Director General to report to the UN Security Council.
That's why the U.S. is taking action. That's why even many Europeans now understand that something needs to be done. And with Russian and perhaps Chinese help, that next step may be taken in the United Nations Security Council.
יש סימן שאלה גדול. משום שמועצת הביטחון יכולה אמנם להטיל סנקציות, אבל לממש סנקציות בהיעדר תמיכה גם של סין וגם של רוסיה, ספק אם אפשר יהיה לעשות שם הרבה.
Ever since the announcement was made, Iran's clock began ticking. Iran understands it, and so do the Americans and Europeans. The question is what Russia and China will do, and Putin's actions don't bode well so far.
המדינאות שהם הולכים לפעול בה היא חסרת ערך, היא חלולה, אם היא לא מגובה באופציה צבאית.
The next crossroad date is well known. On March 6th, the IAEA will assemble yet again to conduct, probably, a last-ditch discussion on the Iranian issue. After that, it's straight to the Security Council and a policy of sanctions. But it's not clear what the West can do at this point. Iran says they'll fight back tooth and nail at every step of the way, including using suicide bombers in other countries and other unmentioned surprises. Not to mention the state of Israel, watching anxiously, worriedly from the side.
הבעיה היא לא שעוד מדינה יהיה לה אולי נשק גרעיני. זה קרה להודו והעולם לא זע ולא נע, כי הודו היא מדינה אחראית. כאן מדובר קודם כל במדינה שיש לה מדיניות מאוד מאוד רדיקלית, מאוד מאוד קיצונית. מדובר במדינה שאפילו לא טורחת להסתיר את העובדה שהיא רוצה לחסל מדינה אחרת.
But before total desperation, let's go back in time to now, February of 2006. What can Israel do today to prevent a nuclear missile from being paraded in the streets of Tehran in 2.5 years?
והשגיאה של כולנו היא שיש לנו בזיכרון חרוט חזק מאוד המקרה של 1981 בעיראק.
And this is our common mistake. What could be more pleasant than to remember Operation Opera? 8 F-16s sneak into Iraq by evening, enter Baghdad's skies with the sun at their backs, and destroy the Iraqi nuclear program. Strong, swift, and elegant. History will not repeat itself here, and for those who think the Air Force is already warming its engines, better think again. A view at the dozens of nuclear facilities spread out across Iranian soil make it very clear. The option of Israel destroying Iran's nuclear option doesn't really exist, and for Israel's sake, it may not even be best to try.
זה יהיה מטופש. כלומר, בכלל אין מה לחשוב על מושגים כאלה.
But Israel should be thinking about what to do if the diplomatic moves don't succeed. Iran is determined to get nuclear power. There's no difference in the matter between conservatives or fanatics. They all want nuclear power and they're sitting on the oil wells, something that will make it tough for the world to follow through with sanctions.
התרחיש הסביר, אני חושש, הוא בהתחשב במגמות הפוליטיות הבינלאומיות, שתהיה איזושהי מערכת לחצים על איראן, היא אולי אפילו תביא לתגובה איראנית של עצירה חלקית או האטה, אבל אני לא רואה בהסתברות גבוהה את ריכוז אותה עוצמה שתביא לעצירה האיראנית מיידית.
There's only one country in the world that has this kind of power. But the United States is buried deep in the Iraqi mud and has no intention of starting a confrontation with yet another country. Israel's options might be bad, but those of the U.S. aren't that great either.
There's only one thing worse than military action, and that is a nuclear-armed Iran.
So for the time being, this is Israel's hope, that in the moment of truth, the U.S. will strike Iran down. U.S. cruise missiles and air power can put precise and painful pressure on Ahmadinejad's regime, one that will make him think twice, simply because there's no one else that can do it. And if all else fails...
אם לאיראן יש נשק גרעיני פעיל, אז בין אם היא תשתמש בו ואפילו אם היא לא תשתמש בו, אי אפשר יהיה לחיות לא רק בישראל, אי אפשר יהיה לחיות בעולם המערבי, בעולם התרבותי, אי אפשר יהיה לחיות.
While it's a growing international issue, the missiles are directed here, towards Israel. No one even dares raise the question, how will life be the day after Iran gets the bomb? Dance's last week in Boka. Boka is a northern city in Azerbaijan located in the Caucasian region.